Yeah. Signs that Meghan has been sassy to the Queen from day one. A gloomy future is foretold. A photo of the fake Duchess with Her Late Majesty reveals a serious error that set the former actress' royal career off to a rocky start. Hello, and a very warm welcome back to LVT News Channel. I've got to admit, I've always kind of wondered what it must be like to walk out onto the Buckingham Palace balcony. Is it electric? Is it nerve-wracking? Is it awe-inspiring? Is it moving? Well, it's probably a mix of all the above. Certainly the most iconic image of the royal family out there is of them gathered together on the balcony wearing some beautiful clothing and some really nice hats and putting on their typical, very modest display of feeling while greeting. So many people gathered below. 5 years ago now, I can't believe it's been that long. But anyway, 5 years ago, there was one woman who made quite a leap from being a mostly unknown actress and blogger to full-blown HRH logging. Not one, but two such balcony appearances in only a month, and in 2018 on 10th July. This woman, of course, we're talking about Meghan Markle, stepped out onto that balcony for the fly-past to mark the centenary of the Royal Air Force. It was her second such appearance and only a month after her balcony debut for Trooping the Colour. Recently, something hit me about this moment. If you look at the photos of that RAF event, you can see if something unusual jumps out at you. I'm going to wait. Did you see it standing right next to her? Late Majesty is none other than Meghan Markle. What we need to think about here is that positioning on this balcony is not some haphazard kind of situation. It is all carefully orchestrated. For much of recent history, when the House of Windsor decides to go out there on that balcony and greet the masses where they stand is mostly dictated by seniority. And that's why standing closest to the monarch in the past usually was the now King Charles and Queen Camilla, as well as William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children back in the good old days. The late Queen's adored Harry sometimes also got a. And that's why it is so significant that Meghan stood right next to Her Late Majesty. So I think that requires us to really consider looking at those images of the late Queen and Meghan. We need to think about what was going on behind the scenes around that time. That's a time when Meghan and Harry still seem like a monarchy's #1 shining hope for the future. Now, reportedly back then, there was a lot of trying happening. One thing that a few experienced royal journalists and biographers have talked about is that back in those early days of Meghan and Harry, when the future seems so incredibly bright, the firm was really trying hard. And what were they trying? What they were trying to make it work for Meghan Markle. She had been fast-tracked from Toronto, single girl living to palace balcony waving in only about 7 months. Now required reading for anybody who's really interested in this topic is Valentine Lowe's book Courtiers. He says that perhaps people tried harder to help Meghan than she has acknowledged. Valentine Lowe reports that before they got married, Miguel Head, then William's private secretary and therefore the top courtier in Kensington Palace, had told her that the palace would do everything they could to help. She was joining the royal family with a wholly different experience of life. But there was no need to think that she had to take on her new role in a particular way. She didn't have to be straitjacket. One source explained to Lowe the entire place because of everything about her and because of what Harry's previous girlfriends had been through, was bending over backwards to make sure that every option was open. Now in 2021, there was a former royal aide who spoke with the Times royal editor Royal Nika, saying the family have tried to be welcoming, all the staff and principals have genuinely tried to be kind. And another palace source reported everyone bent over backwards to accommodate her. The Queen gave them the opportunity to go wherever they pleased. They were given a degree of latitude, according to the royal biographer Andrew Morton. He also said they did say to Meghan, "If you don't want to embrace royal duties full-time, please be our guest and continue your acting career." Those opportunities were open to. But now we're getting to the tricky part, because what exactly was all this trying for? The late Queen tried to do her part. she sent over some of her most senior courtiers like Lord Chamberlain or Peel to help Meghan figure out how the firm really worked. He said I liked her. Actually, she was very forthright, very, very polite. And then Samantha Cohen, Her late Majesty's former assistant private secretary, also tried to help. Now, actually, at the time, Miss Cohen had resigned, but the late Queen convinced her to stay on to help Meghan and Harry navigate the advent of their joint career in his 2022 biography, Revenge. Tom Bower also said that under Cohen, a team of 14 young, intelligent and experienced officials, including Jason Knopf, was assembled to introduce Meghan sensitively to the quirks and expectations of royal life. And actually, that wasn't all. Her late Majesty also sent over her Ghan and born equerry, Lieutenant Colonel Nana Kofi Tumwasi Anchor and the veteran lady-in-waiting Lady Susan Hesse over to Kensington Palace to try to help make and figure things out there. Apparently a whole lot of. But maybe it wasn't the right kind of trying. Maybe the late Queen had the best of intentions, but was posting a bunch of firm insiders over to explain things to make and what was really necessary at the time. Her appeal was probably very good at explaining to Meghan what the gold and silver stick actually does. I mean, sure, that was stuff that was good to know, but was that what she really needed at the time, considering the shock that she had to have been experiencing? And what about Lieutenant Colonel Tumwasi and Craw? Well, he had lived in the UK since he